Welcome to episode 11 of Psycho Pass. Last time we had Kogami and Yuki being hunted, and it was a really exciting episode, went by really fast, so I can't wait to see how it wraps up. I think they'll have to finish it up on their own, and the rest of them, Akane and everybody, will probably get there after the fact. I'm not worried for Kogami's safety, but Yuki could be in danger. Hopefully he'll protect her, but we'll see what happens. So I'm very excited to get into it. We're going to watch and discuss. Got the subtitles and timer on the screen if you'd like to follow along that way, or you can pull up the full episode on your own. But let's go. We're starting after any logos. Let's get into it in 3, 2, 1, play. Alright, so here we are. Set up this elaborate trap. And here we have Akane and Masaoka coming in to try to help, so I don't know how far away they are exactly. I just feel like Kogami's gonna have to beat Senguji himself, or for Makishima to see and be impressed by. Yeah, I know. Right? Maybe you shouldn't have jumped to conclusions about things and gotten all bitchy about it. Akane, I don't think, knows that, Yuki is there for sure, so we'll see what happens. But while the OP is playing, let me say that if you enjoyed these videos, subscribe to the channel. Psycho Pass comes out every Wednesday, with other videos every single day of the week, so subscribe to be notified when those come out. Check out the description down below. You've got links to Twitter and Discord if you want to hang out there, and Patreon, where you can support this channel, get these videos early, vote in polls for what shows I watch, and get exclusive vlogs. So thank you very much. But yeah. This is this 22 episodes? So we're going to the halfway point now. So this could be a big turning point. I mean, Makishima is there, so they might encounter him. Might learn more about him and start to really get on his trail, because he's obviously going to get away. And that's why I think it's a possibility that somebody could die, and Kogami is too important, so Yuki is kind of in an unfortunate position. Could be a big turning point for Akane at the halfway mark of the show. So this one is called Saint's Supper. There he is, right around the corner. At least she got to put her bra back on. Gets his coat. It's all good. We still got one dog. He killed the other one. Still being aimed at constantly by Robo-Man. Whoa! Oh shit, okay, backup has arrived. But that's fair game. Makishima put the radio or whatever down there so that Kogami could do this. If he's able to put it together, calling for help is part of the game that he set up. Wasn't part of Senguji's plan. Okay. Dog just took it out. But, has it got the Dominator? Yeah, there you go. And we know they can target non-living things. Hey, buddy! Down, boy. Down. Shit! Okay, enough. We get it. Let me shoot. You gotta talk me through it first. Just let me pull the trigger. Good, good. Whoa! Oh, that's badass. Nice. Yeah, wow. He was completely eliminated. Holy shit. The Dominator's the coolest thing of all time. I've said it before, but I love the effort they put into the design and animation of it. Damn, he got hit of the gun and its effects. Yeah, he actually has to stop and reload. You don't have infinite ammo. Too bad he's not using a Dominator, or else Kogami would have exploded. Too bad for him. Good for us. Lovecraft was the dog? What was the other one? Okay. Quite a while ago. Well, shit. Is this what, like, terrified him of death? Oh, I see. Maybe that's what gave him the proclivities of wanting to hunt people. Made him realize what it meant to be alive. So he's into it. He's like, yeah, danger, challenge, a true hunt. Although when you take the time in the middle of a hunt to give a long monologue, you're doing a bad job as a hunter, probably. Alright, let me get my deck. We'll fucking go. Yeah. So he welcomes the challenge. He's having fun still. Yuki is off on her own. Hopefully she'll be okay as long as he keeps him engaged. The dogs are taken care of. Nice. Hey, buddy. Whoa! Damn! That's cybernetic. So, you know, generally he's okay. Can you wield that thing with one hand? Yeah? It's not as cool when there's not a giant blood splatter, if I'm being perfectly honest. but it's still cool watching the shit explode. Nice. Oh, Chijoy again. While we pan over barrels and he starts losing it. Whoa. A diversion. Are we Donkey Konging? I think he's got. I think he's one upped you. I think it's definitely. He wouldn't leave a trail of blood and knock over a barrel just on purpose like that. It's definitely a trap for you, Mr. Hunter. He thinks he's got him. Oh, hi. 328. That was pretty dangerous for Yuki, but luckily he wasn't. Boom! Damn! Whoa! He wasn't super interested in killing her, so that's good, but that was dangerous. But yeah, we did it! 328, nowhere near as high as Rikako's. She was like, wasn't she like 470 something or something like that? She was way up there. So I talked about what his psychopaths might be before just because of how his attitude and his nature are, and it was, lethal enforcement, but it wasn't as high as hers. Not anywhere close. Yeah, you need to keep your level down. Well, I mean, maybe you can. Maybe you can join the police force as an enforcer. But I mean, he was here the whole time to protect her and comfort her, and so maybe. Oh shit. Well, god damn it. So I was like, maybe it'll be okay. I was wondering before, like, okay, if he beats Senguji, and they're on their way, then we're all good. We're going to be fine. I was wondering, could Makishima get involved because he is here, but I didn't think he would. If it was settled between Kogami and Senguji, I thought he would just let that be, and he would just observe. But no, he is getting into it himself. Picked up the gun, took Yuki. Shit. I didn't think he'd get directly involved like that, but that's cool that he is. Not good for her, but from a story standpoint, now he was face to face with Makishima. And they're here. Kogami's not in good shape anymore. One of you check him out. He'll be okay. Okay, he's gonna do the first aid because he's more experienced at it. So, does Akane get to go off and try to find Yuki? There she goes. Okay, he does not advise her to do it, to go off alone, but she can't help it. There's another criminal. Her friend is in danger. She's gonna go after them. God damn. Because he was nuts. Yeah, it's messed up. It's interesting how this society has so much less crime, but when a criminal does succeed, it's so much worse like than it probably would be in our society. Most likely. When you get the really bad ones. Well, shit, we gotta do legit first aid here. Gotta do some quick medical treatment. Okay, yeah, we'll just work on it later. That's good. Keep him alive for now. Yeah, like there's no other enemies, so you're safe. Just stay here. Nice. Yeah, that's probably necessary. Keep him to stay down. Just stay here. Don't waste their time arguing. Good. Back up. Somebody probably has to. He's got a hard-ass head, huh? Yep, they should all know who he is. Why, indeed. But he was like an important figure, so wonder what kind of ramifications that'll have. Oh, hey, Akane face to face with our villain. $79. What's Akane's? I don't know, but she keeps her hue clear. But 79, that's like, that's real low. That's That's just a normal person. Yeah, there you go. So is he doing something special in order to make it low, or is it just low, naturally? Like, he could be this same kind of person as Akane in some ways, who's good at keeping his stress level down. Which is great because, like, the whole system is just point the gun, it says what to do, and then you pull the trigger and it does the thing. Damn. But with him, it doesn't register him as a criminal, so you can't do anything. So it's showing the flaw of the system. Well, crime is what's against the law, if you just want to go with a direct definition. I mean, yes, people decide the... It went down? People decide what the law is. It may be arbitrary, but just by definition, I'm just telling you. Um, it went down, though. Yeah. I wonder that too, myself. Like, how exactly does it decide? It's gotta be a subjective thing, right? Doesn't like people just following the system. Okay, we got Kogami's test, and now she gets one too. Why you gotta lower the jacket like that? Well, I'd rather you didn't. It went down more. She can't do it. You can't shoot him. Like it won't let you. That's genius, honestly. Like as a conceit for the villain, the Dominator is just like the end all be all. It tells you to do it, and you do it. But if there's someone it won't let you shoot, then you can't. And there's like nothing. You don't have anything. You'd have to go up there and you'd have to go up there and stop pointing the gun. It's not doing anything. It's not happening. It keeps going down. He just slashed her and it went down. You're gonna have to put it down and try something else. I know you're. Wow, you're worried about your friend and it's hard to decide what to do. But clearly the gun is useless. So he just, like, in his mind believes that he's perfectly normal and rational and good, and that's all it takes. Doesn't want to be judged by anybody who can't just think for themselves. That's why he threw the gun down there. He gave her another option. Wow. Yeah, he's willing to test her and see if she'll do it, and I'm pretty sure he knows she won't. Yeah, because you're choosing it, not the system. Wow. Put the damn Dominator down. Oh man, she has a shotgun. She's not gonna do it. Is he really? Is she gonna die here? That would be so fucked up. Like she was just. It's just really unfortunate. Really wrong. Wrong place, wrong time, wrong people. Whoa! people she's associated with just got really unlucky. Yeah, I mean, she fired, but oh, look at her. I mean, I understand the nerves. She can't do it. Oh. Yuki's in life-threatening danger, and she's terrified. Look at all the shaking. Like, oh man, this is fucking... I feel so bad. She couldn't do it. Zero. As he's gonna slit her throat, it is 0. Well, shit. I knew it was possible, but god damn, what a scene. Oh my god. Well, that's just not happy at all. That's Jesus show. Nice job with that. Wow. The fact they had his number keep going down was so fucking cool. Like, that just added so much to the scene. And it's like, you can be a latent criminal even if you're not a criminal, but because you're a cop, because you still got crime on the brain. So in a way that somebody like Akane can keep her hue clear while doing good, like somebody else with the same mindset as her, who thinks they're doing right, can keep theirs clear too, even if they're doing wrong. He can't be judged by the system. That's insane. Just like... in universe as like a what are you gonna do about him then, and also just from a writing perspective of like a villain for this type of story, he literally can't be judged by the system. That's awesome. Fuck, that felt like 5 minutes. That went by so fast. Oh, that scene was amazing. It was like the best scene in the show. One of them. That was great. I mean, it's really terrible. It's fucked up, but I mean, it did a good job at being that. Poor Yuki. Poor Akane. Now I'm more interested in Makishima than ever. Holy shit. Well then, let's talk about that one. Alright, episode 11. That was one of the best episodes yet, with one of the best scenes yet, if not the best. It went by so damn fast, just like episode 10. This one was probably faster. It was over before I knew it. It was unbelievable how quickly it flew by. And yeah, this is a big turning point, which I thought would probably happen, realizing that while Kogami is probably too important to die, Yuki is here, and she certainly isn't. And we had Ginoza say before that Akane's incompetence could get somebody killed, and so it felt like we were building up to that, and I know who wrote this show, so it's really not impossible for things like that to happen. We're at the halfway point, so it seems like we're going to be building to some kind of big change. Makishima is here. He can step more into the spotlight as a villain. Something traumatic can happen to Akane. It seems like the perfect time for that to happen, and that's exactly what happens. But it was handled so well. It was really tragic and messed up, but it was so enjoyable for just how well done it was. But before that, the rest of the hunt with Senguji goes pretty well. Kogami just doing his thing, kicking ass with the Dominator, which is still really great to see, even though there's so much controversy around the Dominator and the issues it causes along with the system. It's just cool to look at. I love the design and the animation behind it and behind everything that it does. Targeting this dog and just destroying it, Kogami jumping over it and everything, blowing Senguji up, the arm first of all and then him. That shit's always fun to watch, so that's really cool. So of course Kogami came out on top. There was not much doubt that that was going to happen. I think Senguji's little monologue in the middle was the only part of the episode that I wasn't crazy about. It was nice just to learn a little more about him and this incident and this first time he really felt this spark of life within him, and that kind of got him started on his messed up hobbies. I just felt like the placement was a little off, like in the middle of this death game, of this cat and mouse hunt that's pretty exciting and tense, for him to just kind of stop for a while and just tell a story. It felt a little poorly timed. But other than that, I loved everything else going on here. I was thinking, like, okay, Makishima probably won't get personally hands-on involved here. Like, he is here, but if we can just take care of Senguji, that's probably the big issue, and then Yuki should be fine. Akane and everybody else are on the way. It's gonna be okay. Like, I guess he could come and do something, but I didn't think he likely would. But he does. He decides to continue this test further and get his hands dirty and come down here and greet them face to face, and he takes her away. I'm like, God damn it, shit. Just as soon as we win, he blows up, the whole back half of him is gone. And then Makishima comes in, and Akane running off, which is understandable. Like, you know, there's still a criminal out there, your friend's in danger, of course he's gonna run off. And I like the scene of Masaoka trying to calm Kogami, take care of him as much as he could, and get him to stay down. He's like, you cannot do this right now, you are of no help, stay here, you're just wasting time right now trying to get up, you're making me stay here to guard you longer. So, gotta keep him pinned down, but Akane confronting Makishima with Yuki by herself in this place, with Makishima up high and her down low. This scene was just fantastic. This was so tense. It reveals so much about Makishima, about Akane, about this system. It was so good. Like, Makishima has been a pretty interesting villain so far, but this, the first time he really steps out and does something major, just elevated him so much higher. The fact that he has such a low coefficient is amazing. I was talking about that before with Senguji, like, how would it evaluate somebody like him? Like, yeah, clearly he's psychotic, he likes to hunt people, he's killed like 100 or hundreds of people. It's crazy. The cops, like, they can't even believe it. They're like, how the hell? Like, why would somebody do this, and how did they do it? But he is fine with it in his head. Like, he behaves normally. He's in the public spotlight all the time. People don't suspect him of anything like this. Like, for him, this is just his normal thing. Like, it's just a game to him. So I was wondering if the system would read him as being, like, all that crazy the way it might with somebody else. And it did. He was a target for lethal elimination, but not nearly on the level of Rikako, you know, who killed way fewer people, but she was in like the high 400s, and this guy was in the low 300s. So that just shows that, like, somebody's mindset about what they're doing has a big impact, or even like the entire impact on how the system reads them. So when he starts off so low, I don't know what Akane's is. I don't know if they've ever said it, but they've just said that it's like perfectly clear. We haven't gotten a very exact number that I remember, but we know that it's low. But to see his be so low, it's like, wait, what? Okay, that's really interesting, and I'm processing that while everything else is going on. And the fact that it keeps getting lower is, like, honestly genius. That's so cool, because it just gets scarier and more intense when it keeps dropping. Every time you cut back to it and it's lower, it's just like it's a big shock all over again, and it feels like a countdown, because it just feels like we're building up to something really bad happening, and it feels like it's getting on its way to being really low, if not zero, and when it gets there, when it gets to zero, you're like, alright, that's it. The ticking clock has run out, and I think something bad is going to happen now. So it just adds tension every time we cut back, and it's just crazier every time we see that the number is lower. That was such a cool moment. And just the fact that he cannot be judged by the system. That's what Akane is saying at the end. She's in tears over this. She's like, this man cannot be judged by the Dominator. And that's been a big thing since the beginning of the show. It's clear that they don't make decisions for themselves anymore, or at least very little. You point the Dominator, it tells you what is happening with this person and what you do, and you just pull the trigger. It does all the work for you. You don't have to feel the responsibility. You know, Kogami had that line when he was training his body before. He's like, I want to be able to feel the weight of what I'm doing in my hands. And Makishima has a similar thing going on. He's like, I want these people to be able to make their own decisions. Don't point that thing at me and just do whatever it says. He tosses her the shotgun. I don't know if it was actually loaded. I'm not entirely sure if he was willing to die here. You know, I'm sure he has grander ambitions that he wants to accomplish before dying, or if he actually would have been willing to die here, like, as long as the person killing me is somebody who is choosing to do it themselves, deciding to take that action and put the weight of that into their own hands, then, like, I'll die to that person. I honestly don't know. I think he was pretty sure, mostly, that she wouldn't do it, but, you know, there had to be a chance, so I don't know if it was actually loaded, but either way, I love what he talks about here, and the fear was palpable. The scene was so tense, and I just felt so bad for both of them. Akane shaking so much. They did a great job with the animation and the art, and her legs shaking so much, and the fear in her eyes, and Yuki shaking, just like the trembling was really intense. And Yuki, the fear that must be going on in her mind when she sees that Akane can't save her. And this guy pulls out the knife and specifically says he's going to kill her. She must be so horrified. I know she was a super minor character, but we got to know her a little more in the last episode. We've spent some time with her, and mostly we can just tell that she's just a nice, innocent girl, a young girl with her life ahead of her who just got really, really unlucky. And that's messed up. And having Akane have it happen right in front of her because she wasn't able to act is really fucked up. And so, yeah, it was really scary. I cannot wait to see where it goes from here with Akane, because of course she's going to feel so bad. She's going to blame herself that she wasn't able to do it. But I love the whole setup, not being able to make this decision herself, you know. She is closer than most to getting to the ideals that Makishima wants. Like at the very beginning of the show, she made a decision not to just follow what the Dominator says and kill that girl who was the victim in episode 1, and she talked her down and lowered her coefficient. But, you know, not fully there yet, not taking the next step like he wanted her to here. But, man, and I realize it's dangerous firing a shotgun, like when she's right next to him, but either way, you know, that's better than the alternative if your aim is decent enough. Like, if you don't do it, she will die, so, you know, that's the next best thing. But she just couldn't put down that Dominator. I'm like, put the gun down! It's clearly, not only is it's useless, it's getting lower every time you point it, so put it down. It's not gonna help, but it's understandable in her situation, being so terrified, having Yuki right there as a hostage, like, what can I do, what should I do, having, like, no other course of action and being so surprised at this situation. I understand why she was trembling so much and so indecisive, but then that's what bites her in the ass, because, like, she has the gun, and she fires it a couple times. Again, I don't know if it actually fired blanks or whatever, but she still has the Dominator in her hand. She's not wielding it well. Like, she's got it kind of tucked under her arm, and she's kind of going back and forth between them. She can't focus on just one. I think that's definitely meant to be a symbolic thing. She was stuck in the middle of the two and couldn't commit to one or the other. So that's why she failed. And man, that just adds so much more to Makishima. I can't wait to see how this affects her going forward. They've met face to face. They know who he is now. They've seen him. They know he can't be judged. So it's like, what the hell do you do? That's the perfect villain to have for a story like this, in this kind of system. So one who literally just cannot be judged by it. And he's just here to bring out all the flaws in the system. He's like, how do you really judge a person? I really like those kind of themes. I kind of have a soft spot for stories that explore themes about morality and about how we judge other people and stuff like that. And seeing it here is really good. It's really interesting. It leaves you a lot to think about. Just like with the way we do things, you know, we have laws in place, and if you take action and you break one of those laws or are attempting to, you are punished for that. And to a degree, you could say that the laws we establish are, to some degree, arbitrary, but we do our best to figure out what the laws should be, what should or shouldn't be illegal, trial and error over time, figuring out what works best for society and what the laws should be and what the punishment for those should be. And, you know, if somebody's going to put other people in danger, they're going to take actions that are detrimental to those around them, we punish them based on their actions. But here, it's just trying to, like, read a person's character, you know, Minority Report style, before they've actually done anything, and say, okay, bad person, lethal elimination, or locked away, or whatever. And how do you do that? Who decides? What is the criteria? How do you actually make that judgment? He doesn't know, and neither do I, and I'd like to know, like, literally, what is, like, the formula? How do you judge something like that based on not even one action of a person, but just what's going on in their mind? How do you judge them as being like, oh, they're a bad person, they deserve this to happen to them? Even when it comes to actions, like, good people can do a bad thing. Like, there are so many different circumstances that can lead somebody to doing something that's totally against their character and against everything else they've ever done in their lives. And, like, how many bad things does one person have to do to be a bad person? How bad do those things have to be? Like, when does it get to the point where the bad outweighs the good? Even that stuff is really hard to decide. Can there be such a thing as a bad person, or like can you only judge the actions themselves? And then it just gets even hazier when you're talking about things they didn't even do. You're just reading their minds, basically. And it's so interesting to think about. It's such a cool world, and it's such a cool villain, and I can't wait to see more of him. Like, I kind of just want to follow him for a little bit. I really want to see how Akane is going to deal with this. Like, she's going to be in really bad shape. I mean, she's really good at keeping her hue down, and I don't think this is going to change that. I don't think it's going to, like, skyrocket and she's going to become an enforcer or anything. I think she's going to do a good job at keeping that hue clean, but it's still going to affect her a lot. We'll see. But, you know, if we can just see a lot more of Makishima, he's very interesting, but that's so cool. Like, I was saying in the reaction how people who work in crime have the possibility of becoming latent criminals because they focus on the same stuff as actual criminals. So that's how they get brought down to enforcers. So by the same logic, somebody who has the same kind of mindset as Akane, but is doing the opposite, could absolutely exist. Like, he has the same sort of stress control and just, I guess, like, determination or whatever it actually is. Just the knowledge that you are doing what is right and remaining calm and sure about it, as she does, but he's doing these terrible things. But with that mindset, it doesn't read him as doing those things. Whereas with our system, we would be like, oh, he's taken a girl hostage and is threatening to kill her. Like, that's all we gotta know. But here, the Dominator's like, no, his brain reads as being fine, so you can't do it. And that's nuts. And like when Kogami was fighting against Lovecraft, the dog, what was the other one? Did we ever learn? I don't know. But there, I really felt the Dominator's downside as well, because it has to go through all the formalities rather than just, shit, I'm in danger, let me make a decision for myself real quick and destroy this dog by pulling the trigger. It's gotta be all like, Enforcer Shinya Kogami, you are authorized to use this weapon. Targeting, judging, okay, elimination, go. And it's like, enough with the talking, I gotta pull the trigger, this dog is trying to rip my insides out through my ass, I gotta kill it, hurry up. So it just shows like the issues with the Dominator in this system. And like I said, there's so much less crime, but when it happens, when you get people like this, like, I feel like they are way more successful in this system than they would be without it, or before it came up. It does a good job of keeping crime down, but when these guys come out to do this, it's really bad, and just the way that it affects people is really bad in a lot of ways, and I can't wait to see what Akane decides about all this. And I know there's more seasons, so I don't know how that all goes. what kind of ending we reach in season 1, and then how it continues beyond that. I know different characters are introduced. Season 3 seems like it's, just judging from the poster that I've seen, focusing on different characters, so I don't know how conclusion-y we get with the story or the characters, but I want to see where the hell it all goes. It's really interesting, and this was a horrible thing to have happened to Yuki and to Akane, and just watching it happen, so messed up. Just the directing and everything, just like cutting to her neck out like this, where you know what's gonna happen. Akane screaming and just hoping that somebody will come save her, but then, and just seeing her like hanging there on the handcuff. It's really messed up, and I feel terrible for them. But in terms of the story, it's really exciting because this is a big deal, and I can't wait to see where it goes. Senguji was a fun villain. He was having a good time, at least, even though Makishima interfered and gave Kogami more of a chance than he would have. He ended up enjoying it, it seems. It was a good challenge, a good hunt, and he really felt invigorated and alive, so good for him. But now, the bigger villain has stepped into the spotlight, so that's great. I wonder if there's going to be any mention of any kind of like societal repercussions for Senguji, because he was like a well-known public figure. So will this come out about him and be publicized, or will they keep it quiet? What will be the reaction to this or to his disappearance? I don't know if we'll ever comment on that again, but it'd kind of be cool to know. They do a good job with world building and just little details, so if we could get a little update on that, the repercussions of his death here, that would be nice. Like, Makishima is a sick dude. He's fucked up. But it's totally understandable where he's coming from with his opinions on this system, because they are the things that I've been saying this entire time as I've been watching the show. The system has its good side as well. We see the things that it benefits society with, but we also see all the problems. That's why I can't wait to see what Akane is going to decide and what they're going to do with this world and this society, because obviously the way he's going about these things are very wrong, but this could easily be the kind of story where, in a way, the villain wins. Like, he might die or get locked up or something, but like his actions might actually lead to the kind of reform that he wanted, because he wants people to think for themselves and act on their own wills, and that's what I've been saying the whole time, that this system limits that. So I get where he's coming from, and he's just very entertaining. And having a villain with a coefficient of 0 that you can't be judged might be kind of like an obvious thing to do in a show like this. Like, okay, we have the show where it reads your number, and if it's high, then it kills you. Okay, well, what if we had a villain where theirs was 0? Wouldn't that be a crazy thing? Like a big shock moment? But it worked, and it really is. Just the number lowering and lowering and getting to 0. As he's about to slit her throat, and planning to do it right now, it hits 0, and that moment, damn, that was a fucking great, that was a great scene. There were just like so many different elements to the construction of that scene that were fantastic. This show is already one of my favorites, just in general, but if it continues at this pace, if it continues being this good for the second half, then it could become like a top 10. Even I'm willing to honestly say it's probably top 10 now, but I don't know what the second half will be like, and I'm gonna wait a little longer to see how the whole thing plays out before making that full distinction. But at the very least, it's a favorite. So yeah, I love it. I think it's super interesting. I don't know if they'll ever be able to get Makishima to a point where his coefficient actually goes up, or if that's just impossible because he feels that what he's doing is right and good. Or if they'll just have to find some other workaround and work outside of the system to get him. And I assume that's what's going to happen. So I can't wait, but like, he's a super fun villain to have around. He's kind of the type of villain where you're like, I don't really want him to get defeated. He's just entertaining to watch. The kind of villain that you hope doesn't die, but like gets arrested so that he can be in future seasons and can be like a Hannibal Lecter consult or something like that they could come to, and he'll walk out of the shadows in his prison shell and philosophize and quote literature and shit at you and be like, ooh, That's fun. But either way, yeah, this was phenomenal. So I can't wait to see where it goes. But let me know your thoughts on this episode, because there's probably a lot to say. We can talk about it down in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel. Check out all the stuff linked in the description as well. Really appreciate it, and I will see you all next time.